What happens when Howard Stern's staff asks him the questions they've always wanted answered? It's time to Ask Howard with 𝗦𝗁𝗲.
Here we are for another very important Ask Howard.
Very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Mike Fox on the tapes team asks,
if you had to swap lives, including bodies, with Gary, would you prefer not to have big teeth, not to have toe fungus, or something else?
Well, that toe fungus really weirds me out.
That's weird.
Gary and I have hung out socially. He's come over, he's swam in my pool, and I always look down at those feet, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But the teeth, every day those are out there.
Can't hide them.
Look, I can't be too critical. I've got a lot of flaws myself, so, you know, and women have told me they think Gary's very good looking.
He's a good looking guy.
Good looking guy.
Yeah.
My wife thinks so, and I don't see it. I got him beat in the feet department, but I mean, listen, I'm no beauty, so I guess I wouldn't want his feet with the toe fungus.
Next question comes from Lee Garowitz.
What advice do you have for aspiring broadcasters, and what makes a good broadcaster?
As a broadcaster, you must be well-rounded. You must be able to speak well. You shouldn't have grammatical errors. You should be tremendously well-rounded. I'm very weak in the sports area, as most of my fans know. I wish I could really spew out stuff. I wish I was better musically, not with my musical knowledge, but actually as a musician, so that when Fred picks up the guitar, I could play the piano or something. That would be a tremendous strength. And I think that if someone's considering broadcasting, forget about broadcasting school. Read the newspaper every day, read the New York Times, read 2 other papers, become a musician, learn a foreign language. That's another weakness of mine. I used to love, when I was a kid, I would listen to the Barry Farber radio show. He would break out into 5 different languages, including Hungarian. And I thought, what a cool thing. So sort of all of the cool things you know make you this amazing broadcaster, and I have weaknesses in my education. I should have paid way more attention in school. I have a lot of weaknesses.
You gave like a couple good things and a lot of weaknesses, and
Yeah,
you're one of the greatest broadcasters in history.
No, but there's a lot of weaknesses,
Okay.
a lot. And I'm disappointed in myself. If I had to do it all over again, I would have spent more time as a younger guy paying attention.
So critical.
You know. But who knows, you know, maybe that's what makes somebody a good broadcaster, having limited resources and learning how to draw on whatever you do have.
Having humanity to say, this is just who I am. I'm not playing this character.
Well, my strength is telling a story and understanding editing, too. My parents were incredibly tough on me, and I hate to reward this kind of behavior, but it's true. They would just get annoyed with me if I rambled on too long. I took it very seriously. If I'd have to get them to laugh. My mother and my aunt used to sit there, and they would have me do impressions of the family, and I had to get the impression right. They didn't laugh. You know, there was very little tolerance for people who didn't understand self-editing. And I have to edit every 5 seconds on the show. If Gary brings me something, I have to make a decision. Do we go with it? Don't we go with it? Is that interesting to a large group of people? And it all goes back to sort of that education in the living room. So who knows what makes what makes a great broadcaster great, you know? It's tough. It's a very tough discussion.
Question from Will Murray.
Describe your perfect day.
Perfect day is I have a day off. I sleep until at least 8 o'clock, which is rare. Like, I just get a great night's sleep. And then my wife and I will either go for a walk or a run or do something together. I like spending time with her. She's fabulous. I like to have a nice lunch, take a nap, maybe even get a massage, you know. Once in a while, I like that. Go out to dinner with my wife. I like that. Maybe do some photography or something like that. That relaxes me, or either gets me crazy. Everything gets me crazy. Something like that, a really relaxing day. I don't like to go anywhere. I don't want to be anywhere in a foreign country, just want to be home, chilling out, watch a few good movies or a TV. That's it for me. They're very simple needs.
That was terrific. I learned a lot about you today.
Yes, yes, it was terrific. You're absolutely right.
I like that you like these.
Yes.
What happens when Howard Stern's staff asks him the questions they've always wanted answered? It's time to Ask Howard with 𝗦𝗁𝗲𝗿.
Here we are for another very important Ask Howard.
Very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Mike Fox on the tapes team asks,
If you had to swap lives, including bodies, with Gary, would you prefer not to have big teeth, not to have toe fungus, or something else?
Well, that toe fungus really weirds me out.
It's weird.
Gary and I have hung out socially. He's come over, he's swam in my pool, and I always look down at those feet, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But the teeth, every day those are out there.
Can't hide them.
Look, I can't be too critical. I've got a lot of flaws myself, so, you know, and women have told me they think Gary's very good looking.
He's a good looking guy.
Good looking guy.
Yeah.
My wife thinks so, and I don't see it. I got him beat in the feet department, but I mean, listen, I'm no beauty, so I guess I wouldn't want his feet with the toe fungus.
Next question comes from 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍. What advice do you have for aspiring broadcasters, and what makes a good broadcaster?
As a broadcaster, you must be well-rounded. You must be able to speak well. You shouldn't have grammatical errors. You should be tremendously well-rounded. I'm very weak in the sports area, as most of my fans know. I wish I could really spew out stuff. I wish I was better musically, not with my musical knowledge, but actually as a musician, so that when Fred picks up the guitar, I could play the piano or something. That would be a tremendous strength. And I think that if someone's considering broadcasting, forget about broadcasting school. Read the newspaper every day, read the New York Times, read 2 other papers, become a musician, learn a foreign language. That's another weakness of mine. I used to love, when I was a kid, I would listen to the 𝗦𝗵cie𝗄𝗿𝗱 radio show. He would break out into 5 different languages, including Hungarian. And I thought, what a cool thing. So sort of all of the cool things you know make you this amazing broadcaster, and I have weaknesses in my education. I should have paid way more attention in school. I have a lot of weaknesses.
You gave like a couple good things and a lot of weaknesses, and you're one of the greatest broadcasters in history.
No, but there's a lot of weaknesses,
okay.
A lot. And I'm disappointed in myself. If I had to do it all over again, I would have spent more time as a younger guy paying attention.
So critical.
You know? But who knows? You know, maybe that's what makes somebody a good broadcaster, having limited resources and learning how to draw on whatever you do have.
Having humanity to say, this is just who I am. I'm not playing this character.
Well, my strength is telling a story and understanding editing, too. My parents were incredibly tough on me, and I hate to reward this kind of behavior, but it's true. They would just get annoyed with me if I rambled on too long. I took it very seriously. If I'd have to get them to laugh. My mother and my aunt used to sit there, and they would have me do impressions of the family, and I had to get the impression right. They didn't laugh. You know, there was very little tolerance for people who didn't understand self-editing. And I have to edit every 5 seconds on the show. If Gary brings me something, I have to make a decision. Do we go with it? Don't we go with it? Is that interesting to a large group of people? And it all goes back to sort of that education in the living room. So who knows what makes what makes a great broadcaster great, you know? It's tough. It's a very tough discussion.
Question from 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍.
Describe your perfect day.
Perfect day is I have a day off. I sleep until at least 8 o'clock, which is rare. Like I just get a great night's sleep. And then my wife and I will either go for a walk or a run or do something together. I like spending time with her. She's fabulous. I like to have a nice lunch, take a nap, maybe even get a massage, you know. Once in a while, I like that. Go out to dinner with my wife. I like that. Maybe do some photography or something like that. That relaxes me, or either gets me crazy. Everything gets me crazy. Something like that. A really relaxing day. I don't like to go anywhere. I don't want to be anywhere in a foreign country. Just want to be home, chilling out, watch a few good movies or TV. That's it for me. They're very simple needs.
That was terrific. I learned a lot about you today.
Yes, it was terrific. You're absolutely right.
I like that you like these.
Yes.
This is Dr. Shiner. He's a plastic surgeon out of Tampa. I don't know how this all came about, but Dr. Shiner somehow ended up evaluating our faces and telling us what we need.
What pictures was he given?
Evidently really bad ones. Because there's a whole... I told you, the list was so long as shit we need done to us that we ran out of paper in the fax machine. Hey, Dr. Shiner.
Hey, good morning.
Well, good morning to you. What's happening?
There's no reason to start. You can't really do that much surgery on a person, can you?
Yeah, in fact, they said we would lose too much blood during these operations. But, yeah, I was taking a look at the pictures. We have pictures to go along with this. We could show them on Howard TV, but... Gary's the worst. He got it the worst from Dr. Shiner.
Oh, no.
I mean, there were so many multiple things.
What would he have to do to Gary?
Dr. Shiner, in a way, isn't it dangerous to go to a guy like you? Because if you're feeling good about your face, or semi-good about your face, you guys actually point out...
If you can live with yourself.
Like, Gary, I didn't even... Your eyebrows are descending, it says here.
I looked at the notes. I was just telling Howard, I looked at the notes, and there's a lot of shit about myself I feel bad about. I had not noticed my eyebrows. So I'm just looking in the mirror to see what's wrong with my eyebrows.
Oh,
Right.
no. See? That's not right.
Dr. Shiner, what's wrong with his eyebrows? I mean, I know, but you tell everybody.
Right. I mean, so actually, when I was looking at Gary, I found the simple things for him are, as we age, one of the things that occurs is our brows start to descend.
Yes.
And the reason I can tell that with him...
Like an ape.
Yeah. Right.
His brows are now his mustache? What are you talking about?
So he's got that line in his forehead, and that's actually a hidden sign that he's actually raising his brows a lot, because if he relaxed his forehead, his brows would be... I mean, he can do this. He can actually be close to his eyes.
See, that's another thing.
Look, even in the picture, he's raising his eyebrows.
Yes.
Yes, you're right, Doctor.
This is my specialty.
Oh, wow, look at that. You see that?
So if you raise his eyebrows, he would look younger.
Well, it's a couple things. One thing is that, yes, if we could equalize those areas, that could be better. We communicate most with our eyes and our mouth. Whatever we can do to make those areas look better has a huge
I got to tell you,
impact.
you're onto something, because we have like this little graphic drawing where the eyebrow is where it is, and then where you raise it. And he does look better.
My eyes look more open when the eyebrows are raised.
Let me see. Look at me. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's fucking... Now I see it.
I mean,
I never noticed it before.
Yeah, see, now we're looking at it, and you can see that one eyebrow is lower.
Yeah, watch when Gary looks at you now. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so, Doctor, here's a question.
I wish he hadn't pointed that out. Now I'm going to obsess.
Here's a question. The operation or whatever it takes to do this, how painful is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Some things are really simple, Gary, like raising brows. That can be done non-surgically with something called Botox. I do Botox brow lifts all the time.
Will that get rid of the line on my forehead?
Yeah, and that can help with that, too. Yeah.
Hold on a second. You're telling me with Botox,
his eyebrows will raise.
his eyebrow will go back up?
Yeah, I can raise. Yes, I do that all the time.
But how often do I have to do that?
I mean, that's like a 4 to 6 month time period, but it's not surgery. And they're surgical procedures, but that's easy.
Wow.
I mean, the second thing, Gary, was the pigment that you had on your face. If that could be evened out, we like a cleaner complexion.
You mean he's got, what like pimples?
Yeah, no, like the spots he has on his cheeks.
Let me see. Come close to me.
cheek
I'm going to look you over. Let me see your cheeks. You're talking about it on his face, not his ass. Look at that. I don't see any spots on his cheeks, Doc.
In the picture, it shows up.
Give me the picture.
I don't see that.
But I will tell you that the biggest...
Oh, yeah.
The biggest thing for Gary is...
But hold on. By the way, I see them when I look in the mirror every morning. They're right about here. And you can see them on the picture.
How do you get rid of them?
Like here.
Right. This is easy, too.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have noticed that.
Using light, I have something called broad-based light, and I can target pigment on the face.
He needs that.
Yeah, and that's easy.
He needs laser.
Hey, please don't make me any darker.
I mean, really honestly, Gary, the biggest thing is, and we'll talk about this, and I'm going to teach you something here, is that we like to see our faces in balance, right? There's ratios that exist in the face. If you take the following, if you take the top of his, the hairline and bring it down to the middle of the brow, consider that a third of the face. That actually equals the third from the middle of the brow down to his nose. Can you see that?
Yeah.
If you then take that third and try and bring it down to the jaw, do you see how it doesn't match anymore? The lower jaw is bigger than that third. Do you see that?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, look, we're obviously dealing with a horrible candidate here because, I mean, how expensive is it to Botox that eyebrow up? I got to get that eyebrow of his up now.
That's cheap.
That's not a big deal. That is not a big deal.
Give me a ballpark.
That's hundreds. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's like $300. I want to know about the jaw.
All right,
yeah, what are you going to do to his jaw?
Let's talk.
All right, so Gary's, I would say from below his nose is the real disaster area. Right? He's got giant teeth, lips. Gary, I mean, no offense.
Understood.
Right, I mean...
and let me tell you, Howard, what happened here, actually. Gary, this is just the way you were born, okay? You're the top part of your jaw.
You don't think that was from an accident? You say he was born like that.
Is that the top part of your jaw grew larger than other parts of your face. And it's actually called something called a long face syndrome. And in other words...
Why the long face, Gary?
Me and Mr. Ed.
It's also known as something called a gummy smile.
Yes, he's got... it's a...
How could he have a gummy smile with all those teeth?
Doctor.
Yes.
You're so right. It distracts me every morning as he's doing the show rundown.
You can see his gums?
Absolutely. Where have you been?
I have a gummy smile. I admit that.
But how does I just
Look,
can't
when
imagine.
I do my Gary impression, what do? I go like this. whole mall. You know, that's my Gary.
So insulting.
I didn't mean it as an insult. If I did, I apologize.
Look, Gary, you were born this way.
That's right. You know what? I used to think it was an accident. I'm glad the doctor cleared it up. All right. So what would you have to technically do to fix that?
Okay, this is a bigger deal, okay? But this is done. They actually go into the jaw. They take out some of the bone for the upper jaw. And they advance the lower jaw. But if you see the after photo, when you do that, it brings them back to that ratio of a third. It's a much nicer look, right?
And now that's got to be. He probably can't eat for months after that.
Yeah, it's a bigger deal. And I'm not saying he has to go that far, but if he wanted to, that's what could be done for him.
I think he needs to do it. I'm looking at the before and after.
That's a big enough deal to do it?
Don't you think I missed my window? In other words, shouldn't I have done this when I was 20?
Right, but I don't think you gained that much.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not seeing.
No.
I'm not spending $20,000 and not eating for 3 months to look an inch better.
You still look like Gary.
Yeah, that's the problem. At the end of the day, he still looks like Gary.
But I'm telling you, all jokes aside, I would consider the Botox.
You would?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
who gives a shit? We're dudes.
It's inexpensive, and the eyebrow thing I never
noticed your brow.
Yeah, I know, but it looked better, didn't it?
You know what's weird? The doctor's talking about symmetry. Like there's one side of your face where your eye is almost closed.
Yeah.
On the other side, your eye's open.
I will tell you that I did some photos, like press photos, and I got rid of 3/4 of them for that exact reason. For some reason, my eyes closed in the picture.
Right, and you know what happens, Gary? I'll tell you actually is that here's the thing: your brow, as I said, is sort of low normally. It's hidden, but it's low. When you raise your brows all the time, that's great. You try and smile and keep your forehead raised. No, it doesn't work. I mean, when you smile, your whole face relaxes, so that hidden brow droop becomes more apparent when you smile.
Now, doctor, you also say that Gary's particular problem was identified in early man. that Gary might actually Gary's sixth toe and lowered eyebrow indicates something. All right, so that's that. Let's go through the Benji. I looked at your now. I see. We give him a hair transplant. Benji, you do look better with hair. I got to say. I
mean, here's Howard. Let's talk about it again. Remember, thirds we're talking about. Now, his is in the reverse. Go from the bottom of his chin up to the base of the nose. That's a third.
Yeah.
Go from the bottom of the nose up to the middle of the brow. That's a third. Go up from there, and it's much larger, right?
Right.
So if we could lower the hairline and give him make that a third, that helps.
Oh,
that did help.
Come on.
That does help.
That hair doesn't help. You got to get good hair.
Well, that's all he's got.
But the balance makes better. And then the other thing I recommend for his chin, liposuction along the chin, and then the same broad-based light to clear out the pinkness on his face.
Have you ever seen a guy with a blotchier complexion? Look at him. Go back to the before picture. Whoa. What? Look at around his nostrils. You got the deep red thing, like it looks like a forest of red.
There are conditions like rosacea that can cause that. And anyway, it's treatable.
What is that? Is he nervous?
He
sweats a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what you do for. Well, listen.
See, again, he still looks like Benji.
I think he looks like a better version of him, actually. I think he looks like his younger brother, right?
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he'd be the handsome brother.
Yeah, he'd be the brother, but doesn't look too bad. By the way, all these pictures are up on howardstern.com. If you go there, you'll see what Dr. Shiner's going to do to Benji, what he's going to do to Gary. Fred, does Fred need a lot of work? He's so handsome. All I can think about is giving him anal.
That is our silver fox.
He's a silver fox to me.
My kid's got to go to college. I'm not buying any of this, Doc.
Let's see. It says here, Fred needs he has heavy eyelids and drooping eyebrow. He does.
There's nothing I can do about that.
Yes, they can.
I've always had those eyes. I'm born with that shit.
Well, let the doctor talk. Maybe I can.
Yeah, that actually, Fred, that could be helped. That is as easy as a Botox thing. Or there are surgeries that can be done to help them more permanently.
Yeah.
The lower eyelid, these are normal. Listen, these are normal changes we all face. I'm not saying this is anything. I mean, a lot of your.
Fred looks very old. Yes. Loss of facial volume. Chicken. Oh yes, I look very young, Fred. Yeah, I'm just lucky that way. Now you say facial fillers to reduce aging process.
Yeah, one of the things that as we age, we lose facial volume, and there's actually papers looking at this. It happens asymmetrically. We can gain volume in certain areas and lose volume in other areas. If we can restore the volume around the mouth area, areas. I said that's one of the critical areas that we communicate with. I think it's really powerful for Fred, and the way it turns that image. I mean, I think it looks like a much better version of himself.
Well, like Liberace and Boober, I might just send him in for a little work so he could look a little more like me. Let's see, John Hine. Okay, what about Robin? What are we going to do for her?
Yeah, what can you do?
Let's get down to Robin.
I mean, Robin's beautiful, so we don't have to do anything really. But
exactly.
Sure. Now let's talk.
All right, now let's get down to it.
If you want to make, I mean, Robin, you are beautiful. If you want to make you more stunning, okay.
In other words, she's at 10. You can make her at 12.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's some. I mean, same thing. It's volume issues, and it's the area of the jawline. So if we could add volume back to the area around the mouth and do something to straighten to do with the jawline, it'd be liposuction. I think you're beautiful, Robin. Just makes you even better.
No, I'm all for making Robin better. That's absolutely true. I mean, Robin, you'd be at 12. Could you imagine what your life would be? Me too. Well, it says here Howard needs nothing. He's so handsome.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Fred. Let's see. Loss of facial volume. Like Fred, you need to fill in all those heavy. I have those huge lines.
I know. You always talk about them, but I don't.
I mean, honestly, it's a real loss of volume. Howard, for you, what I was saying, really, the eye and the mouth. So the eye area, I was saying, if you could, it would be surgery, okay? But if you could do surgery for the eyelids, I do that stuff with lasers.
The eyelids?
Mm-hmm, the upper eyelids. And then if we could add volume back to the lower face, there's actually a product. This isn't surgery, mind you. There's a product called 𝗦𝗵cie. And what it is a product we use as a facial filler. It takes a while to work, but once it's set up, it lasts years. You would be a great candidate for that, Howard, because if you could add volume to that area, you look at your after, it really, I mean, you look like you, but it's just...
I look like gorgeous.
You look like a softer you.
A better me. Yeah. Now, Doc, is any of this stuff... When I hear women are injecting rat poison into their face... And you know, that's basically what I don't get. Like, I'm not doing anything. I mean, what's the difference at this point? I'm a mess. You know what I mean? But
you know, it's just personal. If something you want to do, I'm just saying there are options for people if they want to do these things.
You're saying you get rid of all that shit on my face like that in the after picture? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, really, the volume. Yeah, if you had the volume is the most powerful thing for you.
Volume. In other words, what do you stick in my face to give me volume?
There's a product called 𝗦𝗵cie, and what it is there's a suture material that we use in surgery that makes collagen, and they take advantage of this, and they make it into little tiny bits. They put it in the face, and then the body will build its own collagen around these products.
Really?
Yeah.
How long does that take?
It takes about an hour to do. What happens, actually, I have newscasters who I do this for in my area on the evening news, and I like this because you look better gradually. What happens is you get the result. It goes down. You get a view of what it looks like. It goes down in about 2 days because the water resorbs, and then the particles that are left over about 8 weeks, the body responds to and builds collagen all over the place. Wow. And so each week you get better and look better and better and better.
Imagine how gorgeous I'd be. I'm a 10.
And then when does it start to go bad again?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like...
You know what it's like? It's like
Charlie.
Like he was retarded, and then in the book Flowers for Algernon, he becomes a genius, and then he slowly starts becoming retarded again. And that's the bitch.
Hey, Howard?
Yeah.
I have a quick question for that. Is that the same stuff that you would put in my face, that Bondo or whatever?
Fred, let's go in. We'll get 2 for 1.
How about, is there any way you can get a donation of, like, facial filler? Like, since Benji's so fat in his face,
we could
take the fat out of his face?
Would you want Benji's anything in your face?
You're right. Let's go with the
Bondo.
Bondo.
Make you crazy.
Hey, Robin, look at your after and before. See that?
But she always looks good.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
It's not enough.
Not for me to do it.
I like my after picture, but
I thought actually John was pretty cool too.
Let me take a look at John Hine. I thought he looked a little too feminine after you got done with him.
Really?
For
he
my
got
taste.
that feminine look?
Yeah, you got to be careful, dudes, when you go do this stuff, because you could end up looking like...
that usually ends up what
happens. Oh, God, he looks scary now.
John looks like he saw a ghost. Leave John alone, Doc. I think you were hitting home runs with everyone else. But listen, Doc, it's fascinating. Dr. Scheiner's plastic surgery critique is up on howardstern.com. You will see how... gorgeous I look after Dr. Scheiner will get done with me. But I don't know, man. I don't know, Robin.
I like a natural look. I think I look like, Kim Kardashian or something.
I think I got to admit, Dr. Scheiner's after picture does look way better on me. But, hey, I don't know. Then you got to go do all this stuff. Dr. Scheiner, give yourself a plug here, or I'll give it to you. For more information on Dr. Adam Scheiner's practice, go to AdamSchinerMD.com. Hey, thanks, Dr. Scheiner.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah, a lot to
Well,
consider.
now we know there's something we can do.
I thought it was hopeless. Thing I like is, like, as I get older, I see what he's talking about down here. Like, he could fill that out. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it smooths things. That's, you know, you were talking about John Kerry a few weeks ago, and now I can't stop staring at his face.
I know. It just seems kind of girly, you know?
Yeah.
And then I see a lot of women who do this shit, and it goes horribly wrong.
I'm fucking hideous, but at least I look like a fucking guy. Come on. All right? Yeah, him, on the other hand, he needs help.
You shouldn't feel bad.
He needs a lot of help. A lot of help.
Will you guys dwell on these issues like Howard said he's going to now that it's in one ear out the other?
No.
I'm mesmerized by my face. It's beautiful.
The only one?
And I realize, like, I've gained weight again. I gotta get in good shape because I have such a beautiful face. Do you feel slighted in the sense that they didn't look at your calves and some of your other great features? No. My face is my, what do you call it? Yeah. Yeah. That's your meal ticket? I have a beautiful face. I like, look at it. Close.
His face is his fortune. Unfortunately, 𝗫𝗫𝗄 is bankrupt.
I love it. I don't know. Maybe
it's just baby blues. Here, look. Can you tilt up your brim a little bit so we can really see the full color? There you go. So, Fred, your solution is just be happy that you're not Benji.
Pretty much. I wake up every day, and that's my mantra. You know, it's like there are people of a certain faith that say, "Thank God I wasn't born a woman," which I think is very sexist, and maybe this is like Benjist, but I wake up every day and say, "Thank God I'm not Benji."
Interestingly, I wake up saying, "Thank God I'm Benji."
You're the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, plastic surgery, tricky thing, man. I see too many
You
guys
know, it's
looking
you
like
see
women.
So many people.
Yeah, and you know what?
I don't know who George Clooney's guy is because he's holding up.
Yeah, but he's good looking. I mean,
He's good.
He's within rarefied air.
There's nobody. I'm just beginning to realize when you look at all these papers, there's nobody in that fucking business that doesn't have some sort of tweaking done. Period.
I would say, without a doubt, 100% of the people in Hollywood have something going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
that's
what?
how they stay
There's
looking
too-
good.
There's too much at stake. They're at the big game.
Absolutely.
They don't want to leave. That's it's the same thing. It's like baseball players do steroids. Those people do Botox.
Well, maybe we got to go visit Dr. Scheiner. I think that's what you're saying.
She made a documentary on 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄.
Oh, I know. That's great.
And I just said to her, she's on HBO, and I said, oh, so you sold it to HBO? And she goes, not really. She started to make it with HBO. They didn't like the direction it was going in. She went and made it on her own. Then HBO goes, they heard, hey, we hear the documentary's not bad. And then they bought it. So that's that's even better. But the other thing is, because we went through this, and I think you'd appreciate this, she said it's really pricey. And I said, where's all the money when you make a documentary? And she said, clearing the photos. And she said that once somebody found out she was involved with the project, they were charging like $50,000 for 4 photos. And she would call them up and she would say, listen, no one's asked you for a 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄 photo for 50 fucking years.
I love 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄.
But the other thing she said was that 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄, this is really interesting. She said, not only is she the first female stand-up, she may be the first stand-up comedian ever. She did, and I said, how do you define that? She said, 1929, you know, she got a person alone getting up in a room telling stories and jokes. But she said a lot of 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄 stuff is hard to corroborate because you can't tell what's fact or fiction about her. But I thought we wouldn't get to that, so I thought it was
I'll lead off with that.
All right. Whoopi Goldberg is here. I got a lot of ground to cover with her. And she is on The View.
Of course she is.
And she's very successful. There's Whoopi Goldberg. Wow. Look at that. It's really you. It is the Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, most of me.
Most of you? Where'd you leave the rest of you?
Where are you?
Some of you still home. But that's all right.
So you get your microphone right in
I
that.
got my...
How are you?
I'm good.
You're wearing your John Varvatos scarf, I see, with the American flag on it.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I have the same one. That's
Do
how I
you?
know that. Yeah, I love that.
I probably got it from you.
Yeah.
Hey,
What is it, Gary?
I just want to make sure that you can hear her okay.
I can hear Whoopi. Okay. Yeah, you gotta get your mic right there. How are you?
I'm good, honey.
I'm excited about the project you're here to promote, and not in a false way. I'm very excited about it. I am a huge fan of 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So was I. Oh, my
Nobody
goodness.
like her.
When I was a little boy, I would watch 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄 like it was a religion.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄, she was a... do you think she was the first stand-up comic?
I do believe that she was the first. I know she was the first. No, she may have been the absolute first.
The absolute first?
Yeah.
Really?
Because she's the only one that I know who actually stood up and told jokes from really like the late 20s. Huh. So I sort of feel she might be the very first stand-up as we know it.
Yeah.
So it's extraordinary when you think about it.
When was 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄 born?
Late 1800s.
Why did you become so obsessed with 𝗦𝗵cie_𝗄 to the point that you wanted to make a project out of it?
Because I used to do her before anybody said who I was.
I think she was such a brilliant comic because she's a lot of times when she would tell a joke, I didn't even understand what she was saying. And that almost was the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And I know like Bill Cosby gets really upset with black comedians when they speak in sort of a street dialect. But that's what I love about black comedians, when they do get up and speak, because that's what I loved about growing up in a black community, when guys would really talk in this raunchy kind of way.
Yeah.
And Mom's was just dirty, filthy, and bawdy.
Except she was all of that without saying one bad word.
Right.
It was all innuendo.
Well, did you ever hear her party albums? I mean,
yeah.
All right, those were dirty.
Ish.
Yeah. Right. But
compared to us.
Right. They were pretty dirty.
Yeah.
But then she could also go on Merv Griffin.
Absolutely.
And work clean.
Absolutely. Listen, man, she played all these great parts. She played Sing Sing. She played all kinds of prisons. I mean, she was able to go and do stuff. She looked like an old woman.
Right.
You know, and so people were like, yeah, sure, come in and she would just flatten a place.
Right.
You know, and the great thing about the documentary is I was concerned about the material because, you know, today you listen to comics and it's a whole different thing. They tell you everything, the size of everything, and every little pimple.
Yeah.
But Moms, you need to follow what she's saying in order to get it. You have to allow the silences of her beats.
You decided you wanted to make a documentary about her life. So how do you go about doing that? You first went to HBO.
First, we went to HBO.
They said, we're going to make a documentary.
We'll make a documentary. And then it got a little tough for them and us because we had two very different ways of looking at things.
What did they want to do?
They wanted to do more of a biopic.
Right.
And for me, there wasn't, the thing about...
You see, I thought that when you first told me you were doing a 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱 project,
right.
I thought you were going to play 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍.
Well, the whole idea originally was I was going to do it on stage.
Right.
As a one-person show. And then I realized...
I would go see that in a second.
Well, I'm still going to do it, but Howard, I realized that, the last time I did Moms was almost 30 years ago in San Francisco.
Can you do the impression? Is it?
Oh, Howard, what are you talking about?
Right.
You know I can do Moms, Howard. You know I love your show, don't you?
And she would kind of walk on. Maybe you're right. She wasn't really an old lady, but she would dress like an old lady, and she'd have those weird shoes,
the big shoes,
the
house
shoes.
coat. I mean, she started this character figure in 1929, 1930.
Right.
And she was a young woman then.
So Moms was Moms right at 25.
She was a young woman playing an old woman.
Yeah. Playing an old woman. And when she died in 75, she had grown into Mom.
Right.
And you think about it, there were no roles for black actresses back then unless you were in Gone with the Wind or something. So she created a role for herself as an old woman when you think about it. It was really quite brilliant.
Well, I mean, the thing that I think she figured out was that she had her place and she was going to rock it, and she did. Do
you think the hard part for putting together a documentary is it getting the rights to all of the performances? Do you have that in the documentary?
That was easy. Oh yeah, the getting the rights was easy. It's the pictures and the clips.
And so you have the clips of Moms performing. Do you get the clips of her like on these talk shows?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's some great ones. There's a wonderful... She did, in the last year of her life, she was on, I think it's the Billboard Awards or the Grammys or something, and she's there with Chris Christopherson.
Uh-huh.
And he can't believe how lucky he is to be...
𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍𝗱.
She's funny, and then, honey, she takes those teeth out.
Oh my God!
And she says she says, "What are you gonna?" He said, "Anything you want to do." She would just. And the other great thing is that the material still works.
Did she have a horrible?
It's still funny.
It's still funny.
Whoopi, did she have a horrible personal life, 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍? I know nothing of today it's so different. You know everything about everyone. Like I know who you've married, who you've I know everything. With 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍, you didn't know anything.
You didn't know where she came from.
No.
And in a way, the character worked better because you didn't know anything about her. Did she have a personal life?
She had a very good personal life, and there's some secrets that I'm not going to tell you on air, but I'll tell you
Give me one secret.
Let's see. That many of the traumatic stories about her may not be true.
In other words, she might have had a pretty good upbringing.
Yeah.
Wow. And so she embellished?
Well, I think people, and what tends to happen with performances, people embellish for you.
Right.
You almost don't have to do anything.
It's so true.
Yeah. And so suddenly she was, she had been raped twice, and then she had kids, and she gave them away. And so it was this big, giant story that may or may not be true. That's why I didn't want to do a biopic.
Do you get that in your personal life? Like, people come up to you who you don't even know and say, Whoopi, do you remember when you did this? And it's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, right?
All the time.
Yeah. So you go to HBO. You say, I want to make a documentary on 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍𝗱. They're all for it.
They love it.
Then you start doing it, and they thought you were going to be probably playing 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍𝗱.
No. I think they wanted more of her biography. And what I knew and that they didn't was that there wasn't enough there that was provable. There's a lot of rumor. I didn't want to go with that.
So you say, look, I want to get her performances. I want to turn younger people onto 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗍𝗱 and people who knew her. Like, okay. So then you go out and you have no trouble getting her performances.
No.
But the trouble that you have producing the documentary is getting photographs of her?
And clips. you know, these clips are expensive.
You talk about the clips from talk shows.
Talk shows and, you know, performance shows that she's done. And,
what was the most expensive clip from what show? Do you recall?
I don't recall. Because what happened was, once people realized that I was actually paying for this out of my pocket, they were like, oh, okay, well, we let's talk about this
All
now.
right,
And
let
I
me
was
see if we
like,
can help you. Because you're beloved, and people are like, hey,
I'm
we don't want...
beliked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm beloved.
No,
You're
you're beloved.
beloved.
And people love you, and they don't want... Like, if they think it's a corporation putting it together on HBO, they'll charge a certain amount. So do you have to go to, like, Merv Griffin's estate and say, please give me these clips?
Yes. But not give me.
Right.
What are you going to charge me? And you know who was the best? Who made it the easiest? Hugh Hefner.
Really?
Yeah. Hugh made it so easy for us because Moms did Playboy After Dark.
I remember that.
That was fantastic.
That was a great show. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know?
So you go to Hugh Hefner and you say, hey, I need this, and he's like, you know what? Hey,
here you go.
Isn't that surprising that he's so generous that way?
Well, he's always been really nice to me. I've been really lucky with Hugh. He's always been kind, and so he said...
How do you know him?
What?
Have you done the Playboy interview a bunch?
Yeah, well, not a bunch. And once or twice I proposed that I would pose for them.
Is that
and they
right?
Were like, yeah, and they were like, no, let's just talk.
Would you have done
Come on,
that?
I want to be in the magazine.
Would you have... posed? Was that really a concept of yours?
No, look, these I have not worn a bra since year one. The girls are so far on the floor. They would have to back up so much to get them.
Have you ever appeared nude in any production whatsoever?
No.
Never.
Honey, no.
You would never do that.
Please, I know what's under here.
You're not looking to show it off.
I don't want to show anybody.
Well, you're so right, because people say, well, you're so outrageous. How come you've never shown your penis in public? I go, because there's hardly one there. I said if I had something big to show off, I would show it.
Yeah. You know, if the girls were up on my shoulders, sure, I would be popping them out all the time. But that's not what's going on here. I can tie them in the night on my head.
So when you started this 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄 project, how does it end up on HBO if HBO and you parted ways?
Because they began to understand that what I was trying to do was the better plan.
It is the better plan.
It is the better plan.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, you could have just shown 𝗦𝗵cie on the whole performance of her doing Hugh Hefner's Playboy show.
Right.
But instead, you're taking people around and saying, hey, let me give you an education on 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄.
Well, yeah, because what I didn't, I don't know how I missed it, but what I didn't understand was that she had played a huge part in the civil rights movement.
She did?
Yes, because she was talking about all of this stuff in her show.
That's true.
In ways that people didn't realize they were getting schooled.
Right.
But they were getting schooled. And so it was like, oh, my God. So you look at the fabric. You know, she did Abraham, Martin, and John after...
right, I remember. Oh, that's right.
Right.
She recorded that.
Yeah. And when you hear her sing it, you get it because you realize, yes, these are people that she knew because she did know John Kennedy. She did go to the White House.
Where did she live?
Things. She lived up in New Rochelle.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm. She's from Brevard, North Carolina. That much I know for sure. And she lived in New Rochelle. She worked a lot at the Apollo. She did Carnegie Hall. She played all these places. She was, at one point, the highest paid female entertainer in the world.
You know what I admire about you? You have this passion for 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄, and you actually went out and did something about it. You know, now that I think about it, it kind of inspires me, because I do have certain people in my life that have influenced me, and I'm fascinated by them.
Right.
And yet, it never occurred to me to say, hey, that's a passion of mine. Why wouldn't I try to turn people on in some sort of documentary or something like that?
Well, I'm sure Howard, in a way, part of it is because you're in your head saying, well, a lot of people will take care of this because a lot of people know who this is.
Right.
The reason this came about is because what I discovered was, A, nobody knew who Moms was anymore,
right.
and nobody knows who any of these comics are. You know, Mantan, Marlon, the folks we grew up knowing
who
about.
were on the party records.
Yeah, and then you got a guy like Red Fox, who was known from Sanford and Son, but I knew him from his party records, and that's what was really a turn on to me.
I mean, you know, and the fact that, you know, we had to do stuff socially. Like, we had to hide. When the parents went out, you know, you waited for them to
and you listened to party records.
And you listened to party records.
Absolutely.
And so did they. They got together and had a social evening listening to records.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
With ''Maybelie, though, she was so powerful. And now that you're bringing her up, I'm thinking what her life must have been. Here's this talented woman, great comic, but she's definitely, she was born in the wrong time period because, first of all, who would even imagine that she could even get a career on stage?
Well, because
as a black woman.
We had the Chitlin circuit.
Right.
Which was where all the black folks went to perform because they weren't allowed to perform in a lot of the clubs in the rest of the country. So there was a whole area, you know, where black people went and saw performers that they understood and they knew. And it worked for them because, you know, Mantan Moreland came from there, Peg Leg Bates came from there, a lot of the folks that most people don't know about. That was the performance space, and that's how they got to be better known. And Tyler Perry reawakened that circuit because no one was making
anything for
that group.
Yeah, what's weird too is that you know, it occurs to me, everyone's always asking me, who do you think the funniest comics are and stuff, and I never mention ''Maybelie.
None of us do.
And I should. Like she made me laugh till I almost threw up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't laugh that hard at anybody. And ''Maybelie
she was
could do that.
appointment television. When you heard that ''Maybelie was going to be on a show, you sat there.
Yeah, I mean,
did anyone ever put her in a movie or anything?
Oh yeah, she's in 2 films.
Mad World, maybe?
No. I wish.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been great?
That would have been cool.
But there were no female comics. There were comedians.
Yeah.
But no comics in that movie. No females.
Did you get to meet her family when you made this thing?
No, there's not a lot of folks. Not a lot of folks left.
Wow. Was she married?
It's hard to say.
Wow.
I know
it's a complete mystery.
In a way, it is.
And you identify with her because she was one of your heroes.
Because she was funny, and she told stories. You know, it's like Richard. For me, Richard Pryor that's my brain.
Right.
And Mom's is my brain, because anybody who can tell a story and leave space for a punchline, I think is great.
Right.
You know?
She's brave in that she could literally take a pause on stage.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. You know, that's a weird... I talked to Jerry Seinfeld about that, about timing and stuff.
Yeah.
People say, what do you mean brave? I mean, when you're in front of a crowd, to take a pause...
That's right.
There's silence.
Yes.
And it scares the shit out of you.
Because we're so used to filling every second of every moment of every day. I mean, my God, we can't even go to the bathroom without the telephone.
I remember when I first saw you, it was like that, the one-woman show. And when I see that, you took a lot of pauses like ''Maybelie did. And I always thought when you got involved with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams, when you guys started to do comic relief and you would appear together,
right?
I feel those guys were not in your rhythm. Robin Williams is a kind of tell me if I'm right about this, because I've always wanted to ask you. I always feel Robin Williams is this frantic kind of, he's got his own energy. It's and I felt Billy would stand there and almost try to be his straight man, like his Carl Reiner, the Mel Brooks. And he would try. And then you would be on the stage and you work a completely different way. You'll work through an impression and a character and stuff. And then you're sitting there going like, I'm trying to sort of figure out where I fit in with these two guys. And was it awkward for you ever when you were doing comic relief?
Because the boys didn't let it be awkward for me, but I felt awkward because I didn't know how to do what they did.
Right. That's not your shtick.
It wasn't my thing, but they loved me enough to let me, to carry me along to play.
Yeah.
And so because of them, though, I've learned how to do stand-up.
But were they gracious enough to you? Because they should have let you play in the style that you do. Like, they could have...
Oh, no, they fought a lot for me to do the things I got to do.
Are you still friendly with those guys?
Oh, yeah.
You are? Like, when
I just did a thing.
You do, but aside from the work, because when you guys got on stage, what's exciting? It was like, hey, look at these...
They call and they say, you all right? Just out of the blue, I'll get a note, or
Billy will call you, or Robin will call you.
Robin will call and say,
I
haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard, is everything because, people get nervous if they don't hear anything.
Right, really. What happened?
I'm underground for the most part.
Will you ever get together with them socially? Will you guys ever go out to dinner together? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have a close relationship.
Yeah. They're like, I mean, this is sounding crazy, but they're like my big brother. They're like my big brothers.
I can't figure... you have to fill in holes in your life for me, okay? Because I don't understand certain things, how they all came about. Where were you born?
Chelsea, 26th Street and 10th Avenue.
And your name was Karen at that point?
Yes, still is Karen.
Right. Does anyone call you Karen anymore?
Yeah.
Who calls you Karen? Who has that?
My mom calls me Karen until she passed.
She did?
Yeah.
But is that the only person who called you?
No, my brother will call me Karen.
And the like Mom's Mabley, there are sketchy parts of your past. I can't find out if they are true or not.
Yes.
Your mom was she a drug addict?
Oh God, no! I was the drug addict.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But your mom and dad split.
Yeah.
And your dad was one of those dads that never showed up, I get the feeling.
No, he came around when he was in the mood.
I feel like it was, though, a disastrous situation.
Oh, no.
It wasn't?
No. See, this is the thing. People assume.
Well, let's get it straight.
This is the filling in.
Yeah,
this is the filling in for you.
Well, because from what I read about you, that your dad...
can't
go by that.
Can't go by any of that.
Your dad left, I thought.
Right.
And then
split up.
And I thought like it was... no dad in the picture.
Well, he wasn't living with us, and
But was there regular visitation? It wasn't like today where you have half the week with your dad and half the week with your mom.
No.
It was your mom raised you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at 8 years old, you start performing on stage. You started to go and do shows.
When I was 7. We have the Hudson Guild is downtown, and it's a settlement house. And they had a children's program that Helena Rubinstein paid for.
Wow.
And so I was part of the Helena Rubinstein Children's Theater at the Hudson Guild.
And did people recognize you at that theater group as someone as almost like a prodigy, that you were were you a great performer right away?
I probably wasn't. But I liked it. I was a bold performer.
Did you say that I am going to be a great performer one day? Did you say that to yourself? Was that your fantasy growing up?
No, what I said to my mother was, I want to do this. I like this.
Was your mother the type that would say, hey, you're not gonna get to do this.
No.
Look at where you live. Look at who you are. Forget it. No, she was supportive.
My mother said, listen, this is what my mother said to me. If you can handle the fact that not everybody's going to like what you do, if you can handle the fact that not everybody's going to understand and therefore not like what you do,
right,
you'll be fine. If you want to follow the crowd and do what everybody does, that's fine too. So you have to make a decision.
Most performers, I think, go into it because they're looking for love.
Right.
And it's almost... you expect it to be magical that everyone will love you.
Yeah,
So your mother's advice was actually brilliant.
Oh, listen, my mom was a Head Start teacher, a really smart, crazy smart woman.
Right.
And she knew that she had two very different children, because I was also dyslexic. I am dyslexic. And so trying to figure out how to learn things and help me get to where I needed to go. She understood it, and so it never freaked her out, and she did what she did.
Were you a bad student?
I was a bad student if you needed me to read or figure numbers. Very bad.
Have you figured out how to read now? I mean, or is it just painful for you and you just kind of skip it?
Reading is great. I like doing it now that I have it down, but my eyes get so tired now that I started to do audiobooks. You know, there's a great company called Audible.com.
Yeah, Gary's been telling us that you two are Audible fans together.
I'm telling you, every book that you could possibly want, and especially, I think you need to do some of the books. I think you need to do some of the books.
He needs to be reading books to you?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why would you want me reading a book?
Because you're fun. You make it fun.
Me reading a book would not be fun. I'd be commenting on the book and you get really annoyed with me.
But see, that's what's great about you, Howard. The commentary is half the fun.
That's the fun of it.
And I'm so glad to see you,
Well,
Robin.
thank you. It's good to be here and be able to see you in person.
And I can't wait for your book. I have to read your book because I know you're a vegan now.
Yes.
I've thought about it. It's not going to happen, but I
Look, let's get as close as we can.
That's right.
A vegetable,
One vegetable
would be
a day.
okay.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Don't go crazy.
Just add a vegetable.
Do you have not evolved like Robin? You are still eating meat?
I do still eat meat.
I'm surprised.
Why?
Well, because I just see you as maybe somebody
in that Hollywood crowd, it's hard.
At least give up the red meat.
Have you seen my ass? This is not a Hollywood behind, honey.
So let me get back to this,
sorry.
because I need to understand your career trajectory.
Okay.
So here you are. You're this talented, lovely kid with this great mother. How do you become a drug addict? Because that seems like you were in a tremendously sad place that you would become a heroin addict.
No, for me, it was the times, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, dear.
Everybody looked,
They look cool?
Everybody looked really cool.
Oh, dear.
And the other thing is,
Who looked cool to you? The rock stars and things who were like...
Oh, no, this is before, this is before the rock stars started doing it. Just, the beginning of the 60s was a whole different groove.
Who turns you on to heroin, though? I mean, I could see smoking some weed. I could see...
We smoked we did everything.
Who's weed? Did you have close friends?
Some friends, some close friends. They're all gone. So I don't want to disparage any of them.
What do you mean they're all gone?
They're all dead.
All of your friends are dead?
From that time.
Is that true?
The folks that were doing all the stuff I was doing, they saved me, Howard.
How did they save you? By dying,
I
guess.
They were slightly older than me.
Right.
And they just said, this is not for you. This is not the life for you. And we're not going to help you anymore. And you need to stop.
How bad was your habit?
Kind of bad.
I mean, you were spending money, and you didn't have the money to spend.
No,
you weren't a rich person.
No, I wasn't rich.
And so
I could make money happen. It's kind of a skill,
How did you make money happen? You took a lot of shitty jobs?
A lot of shitty jobs.
But you never had a rob or anything like that?
No.
What was the shittiest job you had at that time?
Cleaning toilets.
Oh.
Where did you clean toilets? Subways. And so you
That's
applied...
the worst. Those are the worst.
I didn't even know somebody was behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's like, oh.
Just cause somebody to retch. And you see some pretty horrible things when you do that.
Yeah.
And so you do it, and then all of your money is going toward heroin.
Drugs. Just drugs, acid, whatever was out there.
And you acted out sexually? Were you very loose?
No, I wasn't too loose. I was happy high.
And you got off heroin without any help? You just kind of said
that's
it?
I got help from the folks that I used to get high with. They stopped. But stopped
withdrawal
everything.
is a bitch.
A little bit of a monster, yeah.
And
4 or 5 days, 8 days, 10 days, but they cleaned me up.
And your big break really came out of doing a one-woman show.
Yes.
Even when you were cleaning toilets and you're doing heroin, and you probably didn't even
Now,
see...
that was all done. That by the time I started doing all of that...
Where did you
was
get
all
the
done.
guts? How did you develop that one-woman show where you did all those characters?
Because I was living in San Diego trying to get parts.
You would go out on auditions.
And I'd go on auditions, and they'd kind of look at me and go, come on, really? You want to be, really? And so I wrote
wait a second.
show.
What do you mean, really? Like, what
well,
was it?
because, you know, you go in for Juliet.
All right.
And, you know.
You're not Juliet.
That was the really.
Not to that.
Right.
At that time.
Right.
You know, this is 40, maybe 35 years ago. But I was capable of doing it.
Right.
And so I put together a show. That the original show was put together so people would know I was capable of doing all of these things.
Was the only training you had the Helena Rubinstein? That was it. That program.
That was it, yeah.
How many years was that program?
Till I left New York.
So you never went to college for acting. You never did any of that. And you said, "Wait a second. The only way I'm ever going to get an acting job is if I create my own material."
Yeah.
And so you begin to develop characters. And out of that show, who sees you first? Is it Spielberg? Is he the one who sees the show and discovers you?
Someone in San Francisco saw it and wrote to a man called David White, who used to run Dance Theater Workshop downtown.
Right.
And he periodically would do one-person shows, a group of them.
Right.
And so I get this call from a guy in New York saying, listen, I'm doing this thing. I hear you do this. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Am I coming to New York? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, cool. He said, do you have a place to stay? I said, yeah, I stay with my mom.
Right.
Where are you guys? He said, we're on 17th Street. I was like, great. I'm from 26th and 10th. I'll be right over.
And you had no nervousness going up on stage and doing a one-woman show?
No, because I knew the characters.
Right.
I knew them.
And was it frightening to you the first time you do it? And let's say you do take those pauses and you start to do a character and you don't hear the audience responding. Was it seems to me like it was just so natural to you.
It was. That's the only way I could
And you
put it.
wrote the whole thing yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
If that's the only thing you'd ever done, it would have been amazing.
It would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
And then who knew all this other stuff was coming?
When Spielberg finds out about this one-woman show, does he come down and see it?
No, he got a hold of my manager, Sandy Gallen,
And
said I would like her when she comes to California if she could bring the show, because I'd like to see what she's doing. And so Sandy said, so Steven Spielberg would like you to go. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to be in Raiders of the Lost
Right,
Ark.
you'll be in Star Wars.
I could do that.
I want to get eaten by a shark.
Yeah,
why not?
I could do this. And
Right.
so
I could be in E.T., right?
Yeah.
Because up until then, he'd never done a project like Color Purple before,
Right.
which was a serious, it wasn't an action film.
Right.
And so you mean he said, hey, if you ever bring your one-woman show to L.A., tell me and I'll come see it?
No, I brought it to Amblin, to the studio there.
Wait a second. You're telling me you went to his studio, performed your one-woman show just in front of him?
No, he said it was him and some friends. And when I came out, it was Michael Jackson and Ashford and Simpson and Quincy Jones and
oh my God!
Wow, that's kind of where I was.
What an intimidating crowd!
Yes.
When you go, first of all, when you're going there, then you assume, hey, I'm doing this for Steven Spielberg.
Right.
Already is a big-time director.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous then to do it?
I'm very nervous because they've also said to me, "Do not do some of the other material."
What do you mean, the more racy material?
No, I had a whole. There was a lot of material that wasn't in
the one-woman show.
The one-woman show.
Yeah.
One of them being 𝗦𝗵cie.
Oh.
About the black E.T. that comes and he lands in Oakland. And they said, do not
under
do
no
this.
circumstances.
No circumstances do this.
Because what? They're afraid they'll offend the great Steven Spielberg.
I think they thought it would be offensive. And
Right.
so now I do my show, do everything I'm supposed to do, and people are saying more.
Right.
And
Now you got to get into that other material.
I say, I don't really have much, but I have one thing, but they told me not to do it. But if you want me to do it, and they said, yeah. And I said, okay. And I figured this is the end of my career.
Right.
It started at the beginning of the show, and now it's over.
And they say they want more. You do Black tea.
And he is on the floor.
He loved it.
He loved it.
And that teaches us a lesson, doesn't it? It's like, you know what, sometimes the more outrageous you are, or when everyone tells you no, sometimes
that's what you
yes.
absolutely need to do.
Well, sometimes you have to gauge for yourself.
Right.
You know, is this a person who can deal with it? And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
And what an audition. Like, he never asked you to read for him specifically for The Color Purple.
No.
He never said, hey, take...
And then he laid that on me.
What did he say?
He said, well, I'm going to be doing The Color Purple. I said, oh, cool. I read the book. My daughter and I, we stopped our bus. We listened to it because Alice Walker was reading it in San Francisco somewhere. And I just said that how great it was going to be that he was doing it. He said, well, I would like you to be in it. And I was like, as what?
Right.
He said, well, I want you to play Celie. I said, I don't think I can do that.
Now, why did you say that?
Because I'd never made a movie. I didn't know anything about making movies. And I said to him, so what does it take, like couple weeks? Because I thought it was like you do, like you would film a play.
This is the exact opposite advice they always give everyone. They always say, if you go in an audition, say you can do anything, and don't. But you do the exact opposite, and it all works.
Well, I didn't want to lie to him.
Right.
I didn't want him to think that I actually knew anything about making movies.
Sandy Gowan was probably ready to kill you because...
No, Sandy wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Sandy wasn't there.
Because, so you tell Steven Spielberg, it's very nice of you to offer me this role, but I don't even know anything about making movies. I can't do it. And he insists that you do it.
And he says, well... I know a lot about making movies, and I can help you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I was like, okay, but if I'm really bad, he said, I got it covered.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
So now, who's the first person? So you're freaking out, I'm sure.
I'm totally freaking out, but I can't tell anybody.
Well, wait a second. When he says this to you, is Quincy Jones standing there, Michael Jackson, and everyone else?
No, Quincy, I think, was in another room because Quincy was one of the producers as well.
Right.
And so Quincy is aware of what's happening. And
what's Michael Jackson doing during this? He's just sitting and enjoying?
Oh, no. We're in the next day.
Okay,
I've already done the performance is done. Everybody.
Did Michael Jackson laugh? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's really funny because we became friends. And that's another person who would call and check.
Wow.
Say how you doing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wow, that original crew was pretty incredible. I can't believe it.
Neither could I.
Yeah, I just think that is the most intimidating situation, and in a way, the perfect test for Steven Spielberg to see what you could handle.
Yeah.
Because you put a room full of people like that together, if you can hold up, you can go on a movie set and do anything.
Yeah.
Was it hard the first day on the set for the movie?
No. What it was it was insane because my mouth was open like this. Oh, we're on radio. You can't tell. Okay, my mouth was hanging open because, I was sitting at a table. And I'm dressed as Celie, and I'm sitting at a table. We're in the juke joint, and the guys are setting everything up, and they put a light in the flower thing that was sitting on the table. And I was like, what is that for?
Yeah.
And he was saying, well, that's so we can see your face. What? I was like, that's how you do that? At one point, there are several things that happen. There's a field full of purple flowers.
Right.
And then there's a field full of corn. And I come in, and the field full of corn is there, and we go and rehearse, and I come out, and half the field is gone.
Wow.
And I see them putting the purple flowers in. I was like, oh, that's how you do. Because you never, it never occurred to me that things weren't growing when you see them growing in the movies.
Right.
And the greatest thing was it has not, all that I know about movie making has not altered how I see movies. I still believe what I'm seeing in the movies, which I'm really happy about.
Right. Yeah. You still
you don't
suspend
see the
all
inner workings. You see the movies.
You still suspend disbelief and go, "Wow, it's pretty incredible." Yeah. And it is mind blowing. So did you, when they send you the script? When you get the part, you can't tell anyone. Why can't you tell anyone?
Because Stephen wasn't ready for folks to have the information that he was doing.
So you don't even tell your mother. You don't tell anyone. You tell your mother. That's it. But anyone else, that's it.
I couldn't tell anybody. So, you know, in the newspapers, I would see, Diana Ross being considered for Seeley. I'd be like,
no.
Wait. And then I'd call and say, listen, I hate to bother you, but I just read this. He said, no, it's just rumor.
That's going to be you.
Okay, it's still you. And so you'd see all of this happening, and then, you know, suddenly they said, okay, we're doing it.
Are you still friendly with Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
So when he does Abraham Lincoln and that movie, do you send him immediately a note or do you call him?
No, well, I went to see it.
Right.
Because I just thought it was great. And friends of mine are in it. You know, 𝗦𝗵cie𝗄,
right,
who was on Law and Order. She's in it. So, you know, I got friends in it. I love to go see my friends working. So
it's pretty
I go
exciting.
And I say, yeah, it is very exciting because I can say I know them.
Yeah, it's part of the excitement of being famous and in show business. You know a couple of these people. Yes, it's exciting.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's like, who gets to do that?
Yeah.
So when that movie is being made, do you get close to Oprah?
Yeah, we're tight.
Well, it was weird to me that you and Oprah for years fought. Not fought.
No.
But you assumed that Oprah hated you.
Yes, and she assumed that I hated her.
Why? How does that happen?
Again, you know, people say, hey, you know, so-and-so's doing this, and you're not there. And it's like, oh, okay.
In other words, Oprah's having a party and didn't invite you.
And didn't invite you. Or someone would say to Oprah, hey, you know, Whoopi's doing this, and she didn't invite you. And what I discovered, and when she and I finally sat down, because we met up at Tyler Perry's house.
Right.
And I said, what did I do? She said, no, you. What did I do?
Right.
I said, you didn't do anything. She said, well, you didn't do it. I said, well, what the hell? 10 years, 15 years almost of not really. And, you know, my mom adored Oprah.
Right.
We were all very close. And so, you know, she was like, I don't know why I didn't just pick up the phone. And I had to say the same thing. So, you know. You
always seem like the type of person to me who will write someone a note. You've done that to me.
Yeah.
And you will pick up the phone and call people.
And I didn't in this case. And I don't know why, Howard. It's odd.
You were close to Oprah during the making of the thing. You say your mother got friendly with her as well. And you guys really enjoyed one another.
Yeah.
And then when you won the Academy Award, did you think maybe there was hostility there?
Oh, no.
Why would that be?
No,
I don't know. Maybe a jealousy of some
God,
kind?
no. But please, honey, she's she was the queen of everything.
I know.
So she wasn't looking at me.
I know. I just can't believe
She wasn't going, damn, Whoopi got that. No, she was like, you know.
It must have been an incredible experience to go from, you were broke, you were cleaning toilets, you started to do your one-woman show, but that wasn't making any money, right? Real money.
Well, enough money to live on.
To live.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now, you probably weren't paid a lot of money for The Color Purple.
Well,
more
it's
money
relative.
than you had seen. Yeah.
But I'm saying you weren't. Yeah. But when you won the Academy Award,
not for The Color Purple,
for Ghost,
yeah.
which to me,
but we were nominated.
Okay, you were nominated.
Yeah.
Everything changes, right? After you're in a huge, you start getting scripts and all that other stuff. No.
I'm still Black, Howard.
And that held you back.
I don't think it held me back because I worked all the time, but it wasn't like scripts were coming
in. Yeah.
Because, and you're right. When you're a Black actress,
yes,
it's hard enough white actresses getting a decent role. When you're a Black actress, especially things maybe are getting a little better, not great,
so.
but then no one says, "Hey, Whoopi as the lead in Pretty Woman," or "Whoopi as the lead in this."
They have to go through all the people first. Everybody has to say no first.
Everybody else in Hollywood had to be busy
no before I can get the part.
Yeah, and it's so true. And it's like a lot of times a role is generic. Anyone could play it, and yet they
don't think
the
that
director
way.
go,
Yeah.
I never thought a black woman in that role. I always.
But you know, it is changing slightly. I mean, we see it on Broadway. This wonderful
people
Felicia's
are taking
daughter
every role.
doing, Juliet.
Yeah,
you know, with Orlando Bloom. I mean, it's happening. You know, it's always going to be slow. It just is.
To me, the quintessential role for you as an actress is the role in Ghost. I mean, it makes sense that you won the Academy Award for that. Because, I mean, it is one of that movie holds up, and your performance is unbelievable.
It's the linchpin of the whole movie.
Well, the only reason I got the part was because of
Patrick.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I had a friend of mine come to my house in L.A. and say, oh. I said, what's the matter? She said, girl, I just came from this audition. Every black woman in the world has gone out for it. People got up out the grave to go audition for this thing. And I'm like in my head going, I haven't heard about it.
Where have I been?
Nobody told me.
Right.
So, you know, we have lunch and everything. And so I call my agent, you know, and I say, hey, I just heard about this thing. There's all these women go. They say, oh, he said, I was afraid you were going to hear about this. And I said, why? He said, because they don't want you. And I said, oh. Is
what
it?
I do.
Yeah.
Why are you the only black woman
the only
they
black
don't
woman
want?
they didn't want? Because the writer felt that I was too recognizable.
Right. Well, you know, when you think about it, you got into The Color Purple, and Stephen probably loved that you were this sort of unknown.
Yeah.
And wasn't looking for Diana Ross.
No.
And now all of a sudden you're known, and everyone goes, well, we got to get somebody who isn't known.
And so I said, oh, okay. You know, I felt kind of bad, but I was like, okay, because I was on my way.
Now here's a black role you can't get.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's
crazy.
Always crazy. And so I go down to Alabama because Sissy Spacek and I are making Long Walk Home. And I get a call from my agent who says, hey, you remember that movie that you wanted to audition for? And I said, which one? He said, the one Ghost. I said, oh, yeah. He said, well, they'd like to come and audition you. And I said, what? He said, yeah, they want to come down and see you. I said, what happened? He said, well, they put Patrick
Swayze
in the part. And Patrick's first question was, why isn't Whoopi Goldberg doing this? Does she not want it? Does she not like it? And they said, well, no, we haven't gone to her. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's perfect.
Right.
They said, well, no, the writer feels that it would take people out of the movie. And he says, well, I don't think I'm going to sign on to this until we at least audition her.
Right. Wow.
I never met him.
Right.
And they said, okay, because they really wanted him. And so they came down to Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
And Patrick Swayze and I met, and the first thing we did was start laughing. I don't know what it was, but somehow we were connected. I can't explain it. And we just started having fun, and they went back, and a couple of days later I got the offer.
When Patrick Swayze had the kind of juice to do that because he had that huge hit movie already, the one with the baby. Yeah. So he had the
Dirty
huge
Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. He had the huge hit movie, so he had the clout to do that and the juice to even say, "Hey, I'm not doing this without Whoopi Goldberg."
At least audition her. And if she's wrong for it, then I'm not going to stick it. But
there are people who come along in your life who give you those kind of breaks, and it's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
It must. Without asking, without, of course, it must have been difficult when he was dying, right? Did you have a last conversation with him?
Yeah, I forget what we were doing. I might have been doing the Whoopi show, and he was kind enough to come and do a part on it. No. And he said, look, I got the time I got. I'm having as much fun as I can have. you know, and I'm going out like I came in, a big baby.
Wow.
I love. He was unlike anybody. He was just a good person.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's the one I thanked when I got my Oscar because you know, he and the casting director who had been bugging the director to at least let me come and audition.
What did your mom say when you got that Oscar?
Well, it's really strange how she wasn't there.
Why?
Because she did not. She went when I was nominated for Color Purple. She was in the audience. We were there, and we didn't win, but we lost to somebody who you respect. You
Who'd
know,
you lose to?
Geraldine Fitzgerald.
Oh, Gerald.
Who did Trip to Bountiful?
You should have won it.
No. This woman had done such good work for so long, but because she was a New York actress,
she was overlooked.
Never won.
Right.
But she won this time for a really great part, which also Cicely Tyson, this tells you it's a great part. Cicely Tyson won the Tony for it.
Right.
It's a great part.
Right.
And she was great in it. So she won. And it was like, and she grew up in, she didn't grow up in Chelsea, but she lived in Chelsea with Rip Torn.
Right.
So I would see them, you know, in my youth. And so it was like family won. So it was great. But she didn't want to be disappointed in public. My mother was really very private, so she didn't want anyone to see that she would be disappointed if I didn't win.
Well, that's crazy, right?
And so I call her, and she didn't even watch.
She didn't want to jinx it.
So I called her, I said, Ma. She said, hello, Karen. I said, were you watching? She went, watching what? I said, Ma, come on. The Oscars are on. She said, no, I wasn't watching. I said, well, I won. She said, good for you.
Oh, my God. Did she dislike the name Whoopi? I mean, it was named... You were named... Whoopi because you farted a lot.
Yes.
And so didn't she find that, oh, my daughter is Karen, sweet Karen, why is she Whoopi?
No, because she understood me.
Yeah.
She understood me. I've had so many nicknames in my life, Howard, it would just knock you out.
When you were shooting Ghost, did you know it was going to be a blockbuster mega hit?
No. We were all shocked when we saw it.
It seemed like a little film probably when you were shooting it.
It was a little tiny, you know.
Was it awkward for you to kiss? I mean, one of the most romantic screen kisses ever were you and Demi Moore.
Yeah.
You made out, and that's when Patrick Swayze gets to kiss his wife.
Right.
Was it awkward for you? I mean, you're straight as an arrow.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever been into women, as far as I can tell.
Once or twice, I think. You mean
the full? You mean the full thing with a woman?
No, not the full thing.
How far did you get?
A little far.
Titties? You felt them up?
Maybe.
A little bit. You experimented?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
I don't know.
You forget. You draw a blank.
Long time ago. No, not
Was it Barbara Walters that you felt up?
No. But you know how many women I've kissed in the movies? I kissed Suge Avery.
Right.
You know,
that's right. Yes, Celie was.
Celie was gay.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
And I think there might be maybe two more. I can't remember which ones. But no, I'm straight as hell.
But it was a romantic kiss, nevertheless. It wasn't awkward?
No, because it was, in my head, I was Patrick.
And we all assume that when you make a great movie like with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, that you all run off and become great friends afterwards. But that's not the case, right? It's a job, and you do it. And
sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And Patrick and I became friends. I see Demi from time to time, and we're all cool.
It's got to be a great memory, right?
It is a great memory.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. Do you watch that on TV when it airs?
I don't watch any of them.
You don't watch your movies?
No.
Why don't you?
I know how they end.
Right. No, is it because...
No, seriously. I know the end.
Yeah, but I
only want to see stuff I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, but
you don't want to revisit or remember, no?
No, because it becomes about, that's the day I had the bad period.
Right.
You know, I had cramps. I had the, you know.
But maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe it's like, wow, that was like some of the best times in my life, and it's almost painful to remember. Like, it was so good. Like, I don't need to revisit
I don't need the movie for that.
You know?
The great memories, I'm lucky enough to still actually have them and celebrate them because I think about them all the time.
When you were so to me, even when you started to do a radio show, or you start even with The View, which is a great gig for you, and you know it's wonderful, but I still feel like as an actress, you didn't get to finish your mission. That there were more movie roles you should have done, and I don't know what happened there.
I had to stop.
Why?
I had to stop because I got overwhelmed with the business of it and not the art. You know, I've always been an artist. That's how I always saw myself.
What do you mean? If you did a movie and it tanked, you took it to heart? And
well, I didn't, you know, even if I didn't take it to heart, other people took it to heart for you.
Right.
You know, people love to remind you, hey, you remember that really shitty movie you did? Wow, boy, was that bad. It's like,
no.
I know it was bad.
And that affects you.
It did. It began to. It began to. And so I had to leave L.A. I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Because everything becomes about the business. Your value becomes, hey, your last movie only made $7 million, and it becomes an embarrassment.
Well, people are embarrassed for you. See, I always think that if people come to see my movie, anybody comes to see my movie, it's a good thing.
It's a miracle, right? Yeah.
You know,
someone's watching me.
Yeah.
Right.
But it somehow you had to live up to all these expectations, which I couldn't do. I couldn't.
Well, you know, it's an unfortunate profession because if you're an actor, you've got to act, and there's only so many good roles. So, but you can't even predict what's going to be good half the time, right? And so you do it. And if it could just be, if you could throw it off like a mosquito bite, if you could just say, it didn't do well, but I'll go on to my next thing, you'd be fine with that. But the problem is you're too sensitive for it.
Well, Whoopi, did you have the extra added burden of carrying the black race with you?
There was also that.
Yeah, because you were it.
Yeah. And, you know, people would, you know, boy, you're not as funny as Eddie Murphy. You know, you're not as funny. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to be. I'm just this. And why do you look like that? And what's the, you know, why don't you wear a bra? And what's wrong with your hair? And what's up with your face?
Yeah.
And,
it's too much.
Getting it from everybody.
So in other words, what your mother said to you so many years ago, if you want to be an actress, you have to handle not everyone loving you. You couldn't handle it.
No, what I couldn't handle was people picking at me. I don't mind criticizing. I can take the criticism.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I do have Twitter.
There's a lot of negativity on that, too.
There's a lot of negativity.
Does it bother you?
Yeah, I mean, I have now learned that what I need to do is not be on it. As much.
Okay.
But when I have something I want to say, like I've been bitching about this, you know, the idea that guys are working in Washington and getting paid.
Right.
They're getting paid.
You're upset.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have friends who are in the military. Their wives, you know, can't go to the PX and get stuff because the PX is closed.
And that's a great forum to get that kind of stuff out. You can't do it on The View. You can't get overly political and stuff. But yet, when you put that out there, someone's going to write back, hey, shut the fuck up, you're an asshole.
And I say, yes, I'm the biggest asshole you'll ever meet.
So you engage.
But it doesn't change the fact. Sometimes, but it doesn't change this fact.
Yeah.
And this fact is that these guys should not be should not be pulling paycheck while everybody else is on furlough. I just think it's wrong. So I don't mind that.
You once said something so startling to me, and I felt actually sad. You said that of all the men that you've been married 3 times and you've had we all know about your long-term love affair, right? You said that you never loved any of those men, that you only married people so you'd feel normal.
Yes.
What does that mean, feel normal?
Well, I just thought if I could be in a normal place, like doing normal stuff.
Do some time in the jail.
Yeah, doing normal stuff.
Well, it seems like when all of society is hooking up with someone and getting married and living that life, it seems like it's something you should be doing.
Yes.
And again, it almost seems like your self-worth is who you're tied up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I am very, very happy that I found a couple of years ago that I'm okay without hooking up. If I want to be with somebody, I can go be with them, but I don't have to live with them. I don't have to make their life my life. I can actually have my own life. And I've been with someone, whether it was my kid, since she was, now she's all grown up. She's got 3 kids.
When you had your child, you had a child very young.
No.
Yes.
I was married 18. That's not very young.
That's
young.
That's
a
so
kid.
young.
Is that
18?
Seriously?
You're a baby at 18.
Seriously, that's a child.
Yeah, I mean, 18, you hadn't even experienced your life. Did you fall into that pattern? Was your first husband, I know you guys divorced, was he around to help you raise your daughter?
No, because I ended up going to California.
Oh, so you moved away.
So I moved away.
And you were done with him.
Yeah.
And you had to raise your daughter on your own.
Yeah.
And so you never really loved him. You were probably too young to really know what love was.
Well, apparently, listening to y'all, I was way
said
young.
it. Yeah.
I wasn't in. No, I've.
But you said there was one man you did love.
Yes.
Who did you love?
A nice man.
A guy.
Was he famous? Was he anybody? Oh, okay.
No.
It wasn't Ted Danson?
No.
I figured you loved him.
It's so funny because people, one has so many. Well, maybe one doesn't, but I think people have so many relationships that. There's never one that stuck out for me that was like the boom, except this one guy. And he had nothing to do with the business. He's just a great cat. But he died.
Oh. How old were you when you met the real love of your life?
Probably 30.
You were going out with him. You knew you were in love. It felt different than anything you'd ever experienced before.
It was kind.
Yeah.
It was kind. And it wasn't based on anything except mutual respect and fun.
What did he die from?
He died of AIDS.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. Was he a drug guy?
No. He had a, what do you call it? A
transfusion?
Transfusion.
Oh, my God. That must have been unbearable. I would think that because it's like, oh, no, not from a hospital, not from a transfusion.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
How long did that relationship go on for?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half, best year and a half of a romantic relationship.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the best, but it was one of the most solid. It was one of the most solid.
Do you think it would have lasted?
Don't know.
Yeah.
And I
Were you with him when he died?
I was not with him when he died.
You guys had broken up already.
He pushed me away.
Because he couldn't handle that he was dying.
He didn't want it, He didn't want me to say.
I get that. If I was with a woman I loved and stuff, I'd almost be like, You
are with a woman you love.
Yeah,
Aren't you married?
Right. No, I'm saying if I was with a woman I loved and I got seriously ill, I'd be like, you don't want to be. Everyone go away.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would do that, Howard?
Well, of course, everyone would have to stay with me. But I understand that. But that must have hurt you tremendously.
Yes. But I understood. I got it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But, that's when somebody says this is what I need, then you got to go, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
How sad.
No.
Did you go to his funeral?
No. He did not have a funeral.
What do you mean he didn't have a funeral?
He did not want a funeral.
Wow, this is some guy.
He was pretty great. He was a pretty great guy.
That's macho. No funeral.
He's like, look,
how do you not have a funeral? I mean, you mean it's just somebody puts you in the ground? That's it?
No, you're scattered.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you just get blown away.
Wow.
It was good. And it should not make anybody sad. This was a guy who lived a great life, the life that he wanted to live, and he was a great man for me, and I had a great time with him, and I have nothing but happy when I think about him.
Were you early on a phone sex operator?
Once, yeah.
Can you make money doing that?
I don't know if you can now.
You would get on with guys. You went to work at a place where you would...
No, you do it from home.
You do it from home?
You did it from home,
yeah. How many calls would you take a day?
In the evening, never in the day. Maybe 40.
Could you make decent bread doing that?
Not really. Not really.
And guys would call up, and what you keep?
And women.
And the trick is to keep them on the line as long as you can.
Yeah.
Women call?
Yeah. You would be oh my goodness, you would be so surprised.
I like when Robin acts like she doesn't call phones. So great.
I talked to Whoopi, actually.
See, you know what it is most of the time you would think that it was really about the sex.
Yeah.
But people are calling because they're lonesome.
And they want a connection.
And they just want a connection.
So you would have to talk dirty to them.
No, you would just have to talk.
It.
No,
Howard, if I said, baby, I want to fuck your brains out, what are you going to say?
Say that?
No, I'm probably just lost my job. But Whoopi, if I say to you, your job,
if you call and you called the line and that's what you did, yes. But what I'm saying to you is, shockingly, 98% of the people that called were not looking for sex.
But wait a second. If I call a phone 6 times and I say, hey, baby, I'm there. I'm a guy. I want to jerk off. Hey, baby.
Hey,
what's happening over there?
What's happening over where you are?
Well, I got my penis in my hand.
Wow.
That's pretty pathetic, actually. But you should see it's about an inch. But, baby, what are you wearing right now?
What do you think I'm wearing?
I think you're naked right now.
I could be.
Oh, you are a tease. You're a temptress.
Do you think so?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes.
Now, don't forget to include your credit card in this.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, you always got to make sure you do that.
Wait a second, baby. Are you the woman from The Color Purple and Ghost? Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Oh, hey.
Oh.
When you must have heard some disgusting things at that job.
I'm trying to think. You know what? I don't think so, actually, because it would stick in my head. What sticks in my head is how sad it was.
I would think the word.
That made me sad.
It did make you sad.
It made me sad.
Is that why you quit?
I quit because it just wasn't working for me.
You've worked at a funeral parlor, too, right?
I worked at a funeral parlor.
Did you handle the dead?
Yes, I did.
You made them up, right? You were a makeup
hair
artist.
And makeup.
Is that the freakiest thing ever?
It's not. When you get the young ones, that's what freaks you out.
I mean, kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the one you don't want. But let's talk about something else.
Oh my God, you're depressing me.
Yeah. I know, I'm depressing myself.
I'll talk about
We
something.
were having such a good time.
So
what happened?
So what happened on The View? Jenny McCarthy, I think you're terrific on The View. They say that you're the most popular person on The View, that when you joined The View, the ratings went up 7%, which is a pretty big way to jump.
Right.
I was surprised, but maybe not so much. They got rid of Elizabeth and Joy. Was that heartbreaking to you? Do you feel close to those two?
Yeah, I miss them. I talk to them, from time to time. I send everybody emails.
Are you brought in on that decision?
No.
At all?
No.
No one says to you, hey, we're going to really... In other words, you've got to go along with it or else you're out. And that's Barbara's call.
I don't know if it's the studio. I don't know whose call it is. But it ain't my call.
I know you always say, "Hey, Barbara gave me the job, and I love Barbara, and I'm thankful for that." And I know you. And
we've known each other a long time, she and I.
But when I did the show, the one time, I was sitting there. It looked like you were aggravated with her when she interrupts every minute and takes over. You looked physically pained to me, and I don't know if that's the case, but I tell everyone Whoopi does not like Barbara.
I know you do.
I do because
they write about it in the news.
Yes, I believe it.
You started.
I started it, and I admit it. I saw the look of pain on your face.
I was in pain.
What is it, Gary? How dare you interrupt my conversation?
Whoopi's got to be somewhere. She's got to go to work.
No.
That is bullshit.
And she contractually has to be there.
Whoopi control. Oh, that's so impressive that you contractually have to be.
They're going to come get you.
They will come get me.
Throw you in View jail if you're late.
I was in pain that day.
I didn't even get to the Hollywood Squares years. I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, then maybe I can come back, Howard.
I feel you did that. I feel you did that for the money because you got $14 million to be.
Who told you, Chow? Who told you that?
I heard you got $14 million to be on Hollywood Squares.
Never.
Raise your right hand and swear on a stack of Bibles.
I have never made $14 million in my life.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Then why was I told that?
for the same reason you tell people that I don't like Barbara. That's
and the same reason we think 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄 was raped twice.
That's right.
That's right.
You
All
know.
right, listen. Let me sum up.
The one thing I always wanted to know, because Bill O'Reilly does the show.
Right.
And that's when you look in pain to me.
No, but I didn't even understand that. The View is about hearing people's views.
Right.
I know you don't agree with Bill O'Reilly about what he was talking about. And you got up and you walked off.
Yeah.
That I don't understand because the show is called The View.
Yes.
And
I'll tell you why I got up and walked off. I got up and walked off because what he was saying was a very specific group of people were responsible for something. When it wasn't a specific group of people, it's a faction of that group. And he would not hear anything but what he was saying. And I thought, well, if we can't have a discussion, I'm not going to have.
You got frustrated.
So I got frustrated and I got up and
it happens on the show. All right, I know. I got to wrap it up. Let me give a proper plug here. So really, the reason Whoopi even showed up, there's no love for us. She loves 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄,
which we all do, yeah.
And 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄 is a favorite of mine. I adored this woman. One of my favorites growing up. She was terrific on every talk show appearance she did.
Brilliant.
And I would watch talk shows like it was...
Like it was school.
It was school, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't miss Whoopi Goldberg presents 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄 on HBO. I will definitely be watching that.
Excellent. Maybe you'll come up to the Apollo.
Oh.
Yes. Because we're doing.
You mean actually leave my apartment? I don't think so.
Come on.
What are we going to do at the Apollo?
Well, that's where we're going to premiere it, at the Apollo.
Really?
You mean
Okay.
I would be at the premiere?
Yes.
And would I
like
wear
that.
what? A suit?
You would wear whatever the hell you wanted.
I wonder what outfit I'll wear to the premiere.
But I'm inviting you, so
Thank you very much. Watch Whoopi on The View weekday mornings at 11 o'clock on ABC. And thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
I'm the only one allowed to call her Karen.
That's your role.
All right, Whoopi,
now.
great seeing you. We'll be back right after these words. Did I end on time? Was I all right?
Just on time.
All right, good.
She's just got time to get there.
I didn't get to half of what I want. Let me come around. I didn't get to anything.
Wow. These times, they go so quickly. Hey! I would love to come do The View.
Do you want to do it?
Sure.
All right, I can do that. Hey, baby.
You are fantastic.
Thank you. And thank you for all the kind words, because I know sometimes you hear about me getting in trouble, and you always come to my defense.
Well, who's going to come to your defense if I don't?
Well,
we know about being in trouble.
I just appreciate it.
I really can't wait to see what you came up with on that.
I can't wait for you to see it. It's so good.
Look, would it be all right if I asked you a question about the interview?
Sure.
So you and Howard really bonded over your mutual love for 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄.
Right.
In many ways, is Howard kind of like the 𝗫𝗵ici𝗄 of radio, the way he discusses taboo things and push the envelope?
You know what? I never thought of it that way, but yeah, in many ways. Howard has always tackled things that people shy away from, and he's really bold about it and right up front. So yeah, I think there's a big bond between the two of them.
You do so much interviewing on your show, The View. What do you respect about Howard's style and what he brings as an interviewer?
Well, I like Howard, so I can roll with him. I love what he does. I think his best quality is he asks you a direct question. He doesn't beat around the bush, and I like that.
I was saying to JD, as Whoopi was leaving, I said, Whoopi, I didn't even get to ask you about your spoon collection.
She has a spoon collection.
Whoopi is a big spoon collector. And she lit up. She was like, I do collect spoons. And I said, well, JD does too. And she goes, JD, I'm going to send you some spoons. He collected spoons when he was a kid. That's why we got into it. And then we found out you were a spoon collector.
Yes. I'll send you something.
Oh,
So
now you're
JD.
into spoon collecting, aren't you?
Isn't that special? I don't want it.
He's not turning down those.
It is special for Whoopi Goldberg. So, I mean, I couldn't turn those down. But I don't collect spoons.
You do now.
Well, I have a gift from Whoopi Goldberg.
What I heard was that Whoopi collects these old, like, racist spoons, too. Like
I heard about these racist spoons.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't know where they sold these things, but they sell, like, you know, they have, like, you know, the typical, stereotypical black guy.
Like the jockey.
The jockey,
kind of things.
yeah. So she's got a whole collection of those. I don't think she's giving those to you, JD.
Because those are historic.
No, because JD will get beaten up for them.
Oh.
Right.
Wait, this isn't my old black Sambo spoon. Stop hitting me.
People might take it the wrong way.
Now, remember, you're not supposed to use these spoons, so don't be eating cereal.
No, all the spoons I get sent, I put them in a box in my office.
What happens when Howard Stern's staff asks him the questions they've always wanted answered? It's time to Ask Howard with Rachel Fine.
All right, Howard, are you ready for some fun questions from your staff?
No, but I'll do it anyway.
Thank you. Question from Charlie Hess from Howard TV.
All right.
What is the one superhero power you would most like to have, and what would you do with it?
I think fly would be good. That would be good.
No commuting that way.
I mean, look, I would like to have all of Superman's powers. I think Superman's got the full Monty.
Sure.
You know, just even like he hardly uses his heat vision, his super cold breath. He doesn't ever even use those,
right.
Especially in these movies and TV shows. It's like, what, did you forget about that?
Sure.
Like, I just go and freeze everybody out. And, you know, it's so great.
But no invisibility. You could sneak around with invisibility, I would think.
Yeah, but fuck invisibility.
Okay.
Superman can run super fast, and like literally you can't see him. That's why he can do everything. He does it all.
Yeah.
To be Superman is every boy's dream.
Gotcha.
I couldn't live in a world with Superman. If there was a Superman and I wasn't him, it would just kill me. It could kill me.
So better no Superman than you're not Superman.
I don't want Superman.
Question from Al Ragone of Howard 100-101.
Right.
In your opinion, if Gary never said the words Baba Booey, what do you think would be his next biggest claim to fame?
I think the pitch. The pitch was a big deal.
Yeah.
The boy can't throw. You know. And what's funny about it is he can't throw, and yet he's a baseball coach, and he prides himself so much on his knowledge of the Mets and baseball and sports, and it's so important to him, and he just can't do it.
Is that a bigger blunder than the I Want You Back tapes?
There's no bigger blunder than I Want You. Well, there's no bigger blunder than Baba Booey.
Okay.
To say that you collect cartoon cells and your favorite cartoon character growing up is Baba Booey, and I go, Baba Booey? I watch cartoons and Baba Louie. You know, and you don't know that is a blunder.
Yeah.
The tape that he made for that girlfriend to win her back isn't a blunder. It's just douchey.
I lost my lover, and I lost my best friend. And you lost your lover, and you lost your best friend. Okay, so that part's pretty even, but you gained a lover, and you gained a best friend. I gained a couple of lovers, or I gained one lover, but I gained no friends. There's nobody there to come home to call, and to tell all the great stuff, and And like right now, I feel my professional life is like at a 9, and my personal life is at like a 2.
It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It runs the full gamut of ridiculousness.
Question from 𝗦𝗵cie at Howard TV.
What are your first memories of meeting Fred?
My first memories, again, you know, you're talking a lot of years ago, but my first memories were, you know, here was a guy who was the overnight announcer at WCCC in Hartford on the FM, and I walked in, and it must have been my first show, and he was the overnight guy. He was in college at the time. I remember thinking, how does this guy do it? He does overnights, and then when we were talking, he goes, oh, I go to school during the day. Which is crazy, because when do you sleep? And I remember thinking he was good on the air, he had a nice voice and all that. And then in the early days, being bowled over, when I talked to him, we would talk about Saturday Night Live, and then he'd do a lot of the impressions that Dan Aykroyd did, and then he did his own impressions, and I started to really appreciate his talents. But I've said this a million times, the biggest thing about Fred was that he'd actually hang out and watch me and help me. Like, he would pull some records, or it was a very nice thing, very altruistic, because radio guys don't always help each other. And there is some jealousies and stuff. And Fred was like a really good friend that I didn't really know him that well, but he would help me. And it was so appreciated, because I was so overwhelmed with playing music and trying to be funny and literally grabbing records, grabbing news copy. It was too much for one guy. And Fred would lend a helping hand if he had some time, at least that first hour. And I was so grateful. He was such a good guy that way. And then when he'd kind of lean in and maybe do a voice or something, wow, you know, and you really start to say, wow, this guy's something.
Did you know you'd be with him for the long term?
You know, I didn't know. I thought, wow, this is somebody who could make my show so good. I wish I had a budget or... and I did say to him when I left Hartford, I got this job in Detroit. I am going to try to hook up with you again. And I'm sure he was like, yeah, right. But you know, you saw it in the movie. That was a pretty accurate portrayal. I said, I'm really going to come back. And in Detroit, I would call him once in a while and have him do a voice. He would do 𝗦𝗵cie, and at the time, that was a big thing to do. And he did a good job. And you know, Fred's he's so prolific with the lines. It's not enough to do a voice. He's got a comedy mind, a quick comedy mind. Even though I told you he has to think about stuff, but when he's on the air, he's quick.